Vietnam. Once a destination you visited for 2 weeks. Now it's a country people come to and never leave. What makes this Southeast Asian nation so compelling that travelers keep returning, and many end up staying? Today on Inside Vietnam, we explore the hidden reasons behind the phenomenon. Why do tourists come for a while, and then decide to make Vietnam their home? It could be the low cost of living, the warmth of the people, the electric buzz of the cities, or simply the unexpected feeling of belonging. Imagine eating street food for a few dollars, living in a vibrant city for half the cost of your hometown. Imagine moving slower in a beachside town where time seems to stretch. It's more than a vacation. It transforms into a life. Here are the real reasons why so many tourists stay, and why you might want to too. Section 1. Affordability and quality of life. Let's start with one of the strongest magnets, affordability. In major cities like Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City, you can rent a comfortable one-bedroom apartment for a fraction of the cost compared with Western capitals. According to relocation experts, everyday living expenses are dramatically lower. Street food meals can cost just a few dollars. Transportation is cheap. Internet fast and inexpensive. The cost barrier to comfortable living is low. But it's not just about saving money. It's about upgrading your lifestyle for less. Many expats report that their quality of life improved immensely. Why pay double for a smaller apartment and longer commute, when here you can live in a vibrant city, walk to the cafe, the scooter traffic buzzing around you, and still have money left over, they ask. And then add the bonus of frequent getaways. Beaches, countryside, mountains are all within reach. So affordability plus accessibility. A lifestyle that feels a bit like luxury compared to what many expected. It's easy to understand why a short-term visit becomes a long-term decision when your wallet relaxes and your life expands. Section 2. Welcoming culture and connection. But money alone doesn't make someone stay, connection does. One of the recurring themes among those who chose to stay, the kindness of the people. Take Phu Quoc, for example. A longtime Asia traveler wrote that what kept drawing him back was how locals made you feel instantly at home. There's a genuine warmth. A local invites you to join a street snack, helps you when your scooter breaks down, treats you without asking for more. And across urban and rural Vietnam, that sense of ease and acceptance is often cited. From night markets to small villages, foreigners say they feel less like outsiders and more like welcome guests. Add to that a thriving expat community in many cities, co-working spaces, cafe scenes, meetups. You can plug in and make friends and thus build a new social network. The combination of affordability and genuine human connection creates a powerful pull. You go for a vacation, you stay for a life. Section 3. Vibrant urban life and slower escape options. Vietnam offers the best of both worlds, a modern city pulse and a slower, relaxed escape. In the cities, you'll find high-rises, tech startups, buzzing nightlife, shared co-working spaces. For those used to Western city life, you won't feel entirely unmoored. Yet within a few hours, you can switch to tropical beaches, forested hillsides, ancient towns. For many visitors, this flexible lifestyle is seductive. 1 week you're hustling in the city. The next week you're sipping iced coffee by a beachfront in Hoi An or relaxing in Da Nang. It's the contrast that matters. You don't have to choose between city hustle or beach calm. You can have both. And when you realize you can live like this permanently, the thought of leaving becomes tougher. Because once you taste that effortless transition between adventure and calm, ordinary life back home begins to look, well, ordinary. Section 4. The work and opportunity factor. For some, the decision to stay is also driven by opportunity. Vietnam is one of Asia's fastest growing markets. Industries from manufacturing, exports to digital services are all expanding. If you're a teacher, remote worker, entrepreneur, or investor, Vietnam offers interesting entry points. English language schools, digital nomad-friendly zones, also business-friendly cities are all increasingly common. One article explains that Vietnam may become a top 20 global economy by 2050, meaning the upside is visible. If you were visiting as a tourist but realize you could base your life here, work online, open a small business, or join the boom, it's a powerful pivot. Combine that with low cost of living and you start to see staying isn't just more enjoyable, it might be smarter. Section 5. Slow burn of gratitude and surprise. But perhaps the behind-the-scenes reason why tourists stay is less tangible. Surprise. You arrive with expectations of cheap beer, 2-week escape, Photos on the beach. You don't expect that after a few weeks you'll have a favorite coffee spot, a routine scooter ride, friends who know your name. You'll find yourself thinking, I could do this forever. This slow burn of gratitude for affordability, for welcoming people, for rich experiences that don't cost a fortune, changes your mindset. What was travel becomes life, and what was 2 weeks becomes 2 years. Truth is, when your daily life is enriched in ways you didn't imagine, walking away becomes hard. Section 6. Visual and emotional triggers for staying. There are visual triggers around every corner in Vietnam that stick with you. Scooters weaving through traffic as sunset glows, street vendors calling out in the early morning, children playing behind lantern-lit alleys, mountains misting over rice terraces. These scenes aren't just tourist snapshots, they become part of your mental landscape. And then there are emotional triggers. The first time a local invites you home. The first time you realize the cost of living means you could save money. The first time you find your spot in a city. Each one nudges you a little further from tourist mindset to resident mindset. By the time you realize you're staying forever, you hardly noticed you moved. Section 7. Practical realities and challenges. Of course, it's not perfect. Language can be a barrier. One couple who planned to stay long-term told us that while living in Vietnam was wonderful, they struggled with not being fluent in Vietnamese, which made them feel disconnected. Visa, residency, work permit. These all require effort and planning. You'll find bureaucracy, rules that differ from your home, and sometimes infrastructure that isn't at Western standard in every area. But many who stay say these hurdles are part of the adventure, and once you cross them, the benefits vastly outweigh the costs. So the decision to stay is often a conscious one, knowing the trade-offs but feeling the rewards far exceed them. Section 8. Stories of tourists who stayed. Here are 2 short stories. Story 1. A traveler from Europe flew into Vietnam for a 2-week beach holiday. He fell in love with the rhythm of life, picked up a scooter in Da Nang, found a co-working space, met other digital nomads, and 6 months later, he signed a lease for a 1-bed apartment in Ho Chi Minh City. Story 2. A teacher from North America came for a year to teach English in Hanoi, expecting to return home. But he loved the culture, the community of locals and expats, the street food lifestyle, and decided to extend his contract indefinitely, making Vietnam his home base. In both cases, what started as visit became remain, thanks to the blend of low-cost, welcoming culture, opportunity, and the intangible feeling of, here I belong. And that combination is rare in the world. It's what makes Vietnam keep its visitors. Section 9. Why this isn't the same elsewhere. You might ask, so why not Thailand? Or Portugal, or another cheap destination? What's different about Vietnam? Several things. The growth mindset. Vietnam is still rising, still evolving. You're part of its story rather than just a spectator. The contrast, ultra-modern cities and deep traditions are side by side. The cost versus standard ratio. You get more than you expect. The novelty. For many Western tourists, Vietnam still holds a sense of something different. When these elements combine, you don't just visit, you integrate. Which explains why tourists here don't just tick off the bucket list, they stay. So if you're planning a trip to Vietnam, don't just think of 2 weeks in paradise. Think of this as an exploration of a place where you might discover something far deeper. A home away from home. A city you wake up in excited to ride your scooter. A beach where you know the local cafe. A community of friends who've become like family. And then ask yourself, could I stay here? Because for many, and maybe soon for you, the answer turns out to be yes. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the real reason tourists end up staying forever in Vietnam, please hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. We're just beginning to uncover what the world doesn't know about Vietnam. See you in the next one on Inside Vietnam.